Alright. Just started uploading the last game. I think it'll be titled Standard Game 3. Check this one. I don't think I have a game of 7 players uploaded. Confronted. Poor guy. Alright, let's see what people were saying. She picked Monster and Bits. I'm sorry, Kelso. I keep on saying he because from that 70s show, Kelso. It's not spelled the same. There's an extra E here, but Kelso, I don't know. Just have a picture of Ashton Kutcher for your face instead of being a girl, so I'm sorry. I'll try. Ooh, what am I? Regular spy? Alright. Why pick me? I was off picked with Sherman. Okay, so I don't think Hack. Wait, hold on. So Kel picked one good, one bad. Monster chose to be with someone, and Germa jumped in and said yes. That's weird. Bits off picked Hack and Jed. It's also not a great M1. Huh. Sure. Although I could have accused Jed right there. I'll cut right to the chase. As a spy, maybe I should have rejected there, failed it there. Because I don't have anything important. Maybe I can kick Jed off out of the game. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't even have a hammer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have any hammers. Pretty useless. I would love for him to say yes. Also, there's no way that Hack is Merlin. Merlin wouldn't even consider this. He wouldn't. Okay, so all right, maybe I'll talk about a little bit about in 7 players failing the first mission. I mean, I myself, I don't really know what's best, and I think it's probably the best answer is just to switch it up, that sometimes you fail it on the first one, sometimes you wait and fail it on the second one. So I guess I'll just talk about the pros and cons. Well, first of all, when you're playing 8 players and more, so not only do you have this mission, which is pretty much a free win for the good guys, because usually it's not so difficult to, like towards the end of the game, to pick that. Yeah. Usually it's not so difficult. I mean, it's possible, but usually not so difficult, and you're going to get to here, and by this time, it's going to be very hard or much more difficult for Rez to win, because with the lady, first of all, it's towards the end of the game, and also because when the lady is floating around so much, when it's over here, you use the lady here, 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 and here, so that's 4 times that the lady bounces around. That's a lot of information. See, after this one, after this one, after this one, oh sorry, 3 times. After this, and after this. 3 times, that's a lot of lady going around, and a lot of information for the good guys. A lot of information doesn't help the bad guys figure out who Merlin is. Maybe you can get lucky and have a new Percy pick, give the lady to his Merlin, or at least asking for it to go to the Merlin. Maybe also you can get information from the passing around, because Merlin's is gonna recommend to give the lady to good people, so you don't even have to see what happens. If I'm Percy and I see Merlin saying, give it to Jed, give it to Jed, then I don't even care if the lady actually, if the lady goes to Jed, I don't even care what that person says, because I know that Jed is going to be good. So maybe I can see who's saying correct things and who's recommending good people. But for the most part, it gives a lot of information to the Rez, and the longer the game goes. So as a bad guy, you're going to want to shorten the game. You want to have it as quick as possible. That way you can have a better chance at failing the missions, because people are going to be more in the dark. Especially when you're having with the lady, if you fail this one, the first one, you fail the second one, then there's a lot of pressure right here in order for Merlin to speak up, in order to get a good team. In order to get a good team, and then you notice the person speaking up, and there's really nothing that the lady really didn't help much. Oh wow. Yeah, I definitely have to fail this one because I don't want to get into here. So do I use bits? Bits res Jed, and I know that there has to be at least one bad guy here, so if Jed is the bad guy, then that doesn't make sense, because if Jed's the bad guy, then Bits would be calling Bits, a good guy, would be calling Jed good. Sorry. If both of them are, if there's at least one spy here, and he's saying that he's good, then the responsibility is on him. He's the one who's lying. So he has to be bad, regardless of whether Jed is bad with him or not. I guess that's ironic. That Monster accused Hack. Monster is now being... I'll reject for now. Oh. Honestly, I think they would be fun at parties. I'd love to meet up with you guys. I'd really love to have a live game with you guys. I think that'd be fun. Put a little twist on things. I think you guys are all really, really good at this game. And I think it could be fun to actually have add that social, personal interaction as well. I've learned a lot from this website, especially on reading into chat and reading like in between the lines, and also reading in between the lines of the votes, what the votes really mean and how to do it. It's really improved my my game when I play with friends. And I think, oh, seriously? Yeah. Let's see what they're saying here. Two apps. think Kelso might be Merlin. And Hammer declares hammer, or calls for hammer. That's Kel's hammer. 1, 2, 3, and not Germa. Nope. It's a terrible idea. I accused bits already. That's also a terrible idea. Okay, I need to focus. 2, 3. Didn't answer my question. Who's he talking to? Hack bits. Who would make sense? I'm not Hammer. I don't see Kel and Monster being too res here. I don't see me adding you to this. Ooh, do I app this? Kel isn't apping. I might have been able to, but I don't want to give myself away. Oh no! I could have, darn it. And Bits isn't Merlin. So Germa's a spy, Bits is a spy. Is Bits Percy to Kelso? I should have assumed that at least one would have. Well, I didn't know that that Germa was. Yep. All right. Yeah. Also, no, I don't. I don't get confused about Mac because, well, maybe because she is actually like her avatar is of a girl, angel, something, someone from League of Legends. But Kel. But yeah, I mean, on the internet, anyways, I just automatically assume. That's not an excuse, but I automatically assume that people are guys because that's most of the time, right? And I'll let the chat run a bit if you want. But yeah, also it's a pretty standard game. In general, 7 players is pretty difficult for the good guys, just because there's so much unknown. You don't have a lady to help out. Half the players, or not half, just under half, are bad guys. So there's a lot of doubt, and you don't have enough time to figure out all of the bad guys. Yeah, I mean, with 7 you have 4 good, 3 bad. It's not great odds. I think the bad guys win 65% of the time here, when usually it's 60%. I would actually like to see. I wish that this website had under statistics. I wish it had a breakdown of how they won, whether they won because of how the bad guys won. Whether we won because of assassination or we won because of missions. Although it doesn't matter that much, because at any point Merlin can always give too much information, and then they won't lose from points from missions, but they'll lose from assassination. But that's basically the same. And usually, if Merlin has a good feel for what his teammates know, he can he can decide whether to say say a lot or a little. So usually Merlin won't let you get to the situation where the spies win from missions. The only exception would be if obviously Percy morgs Merlin and trusts the wrong one, and trust Morgana. Because that's gonna happen more often in 5 players. That if they win, it's because of that. I mean, there's the assassination, obviously, but if it's not from assassination, then the bad guys are gonna win because Percy picked wrong, or because their one VT just didn't know which team to go with. Alrighty then. Hope you enjoyed this one.